Hi everyone, how you guys doing? Chidi here, wishing you from Toronto. Um, yeah, we'll keep doing what we do. Remember to subscribe and click on the notification button. Also, go ahead and leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know the kind of things that you want to see us do. And also share our videos with your friends, with your families, with everybody. Today is a wonderful day. That's all we can do. We can only be grateful for the mercies of God. We cannot complain. If you want to complain, you need to just go to the hospital wards and you see people whose legs are hanging up there, whose limbs are dangling from one thing or the other, who cannot move around. Go and see people in machines, oxygen machines where they can't even breathe on their own and you're able to breathe on your own. So you have to be grateful for every single thing that God gives you. Every day you wake up, you got to be very, very grateful, and that's my position here. I try not to, no matter what is going on, no matter how stressful things are, you have to try to maintain a very, very uh, grateful heart, okay? Because if you count your blessings, you actually see that God has been very, very good to you. I mean, I try, we in worship media will try as much as possible to bring news to you exactly the way it is. And a lot of our focus is in what happens around our country, Nigeria, and what happens around Africans and in the diaspora and all over the place. And unfortunately, with so many good things happening around us, individually and in our families, in our businesses, and in other things that we do, but collectively, the bigger picture is not good, okay? And I don't like people who, well, that's their business, they can sugarcoat their reportings, but we move around the news, we are confronted with issues that people are dealing with in the continent of Africa and in our country Nigeria, and we can tell you from our own perspective, we can tell you from our own position of view that things are continuously getting bad and bad and bad, especially with special attention to Nigeria. Things, a lot of people started talking about this a couple of years ago. Incidentally, nobody has been able to prove them wrong. Rather, things have continued to degenerate more and more and more. They've continued to degenerate, and it is not looking good. I'm telling you. If you think that, some people come out with news and they say, oh, things are improving in Africa, oh, things are improving in Nigeria, government did this and did that and did that. I don't know where they get their own news. They should please show me what kind of filter, because they wear bones, and that bones is sugar coated with something else. That bones has a kind of the glasses that they are wearing is making them not to see what they should see, because if they remove those glasses and they look at things with their naked eyes, they'll be able to see, or if they bend down very well, they'll be able to see what we're talking about. There is just so much evil that is perpetrated against the citizens of Nigeria, against citizens of Africa. And the annoying thing is that their leaders are all over the place gallivanting. A country that, it's a shame. It's a big shame that, some African countries, even if you talk about the ones that are poor, but a country like Nigeria will be seen in UK, trying to beg money from other countries. UK itself, that you're begging money from, has its own great issues that they're dealing with, and then you're there going to beg them for money. You have so much oil. Your ministers, your politicians, your governors, past presidents, they have billions of I'm not talking about millions. Listen to me. We're talking about billions of dollars stashed in those people's accounts. So what you guys do, and that's why you rape the citizens of your country. What we do is we gather all our country's monies, steal that money that belongs to the citizens of our country. We now carry these monies and we ship them abroad. And let me tell you something. This one, that when you want to pass the border, they search you, and if they find some dollars on you, or they begin to query you $10,000, $12,000 and all that, forget it. The people that lift money, if you lift $1 million and bring it into America, bring it into Canada, bring it into UK, bring it into France, Switzerland, nobody will raise an eyelid. A bank will collect it from you, they will lodge it, they will not arrest you, they will give you VIP treatment, because that money is what they use to develop their country. But they'll make you sign a terrible agreement that will make you not have access to that money, all of it at a certain time. They'll tell you how much of the money you can take out and send back and remove outside their country. You have to invest it in their country. Go and read up stories about Tinubu, how he forfeited a lot of money when he was coming back to Nigeria. Go and read up so many, even Alamesia and all of them. They forfeit their money. The bank takes that money and eats that money. Why do you think when you go to the bank, they are able to give you money on loan? A lot of these monies are monies they stole from leaders in Africa. So they will have this money, they will use it to run their economy. They use the money to lend to people who are starting businesses and, building up all other companies. And African leaders, including our Mumu Nigerian leader, will go over to that place and open up his arms to be begging for money from these people. And what do? They go back into the same money that you kept in their banks, and that's the same money they give back to you as loan. And when the loan comes here, the same governors, the same ministers, they carry this money, they eat the money, they put it in their own account, and they take the money again and they send it abroad. So do you see the vicious cycle? We go and collect the money from them, we'll come back to Nigeria, put it inside our own account, then we'll transfer it from our own account back to them, and then they in turn keep it for us in our own bank account. And when we come again to borrow money, they lend that money to us. Every time they do this thing, we put in 1 million naira into their own account abroad. They loan us 1 million naira, but they loan us 1 million naira at 50% interest or 100% interest. I know I'm exaggerating, but just imagine with me. So that when you're going to pay back that money, we will have to pay back $2 million. But guess what? That $1 million that we give to them, that the governor stole from Nigerians, first of all, he stole that money. Because he stole that money, there are no hospitals, there are no schools, people are dying on the road and all that because of the $1 million that the governor stole. He puts it in a bank abroad. Now he goes again and borrows money from these people abroad. They give him $1 million again and say, go and use it to develop your state. He comes back to the state, he doesn't use it to do what he's supposed to do, and actually the state again is now owing not 1 million, because they have charged you interest. So that 1 million he borrowed on behalf of the state becomes 2 million debt on the state. So they can't pay school fees, they can't do a lot of things. The problems that he didn't solve before have magnified again, and he put the money again that he borrowed that he was supposed to use. He steals another money allocation that comes to the state. So now he has 2 million in his account. He sends the same 2 million abroad. The state has lost the same money and is owing the other people 2 million. So now the state is in deficit of 3 million. But he is in credit over on the other side of $2 million. He goes back again and borrows $2 million this time around. The state is now owing $4 million. And see the vicious circle. That's why Nigeria slid so fast into where we are today. We're in a country where things like laser fever will keep on occurring again and again and again, because rats are living with human beings like they are the same family, because the poverty level in Nigeria is so low, so low, that it is difficult for you to find people existing as human beings in Nigeria. Some time ago, we we blogged an article on our channel, and we told you guys about the outbreak of laser fever. Well, you see, the thing there. Okay, let me go back to that story that we broke that time on our channel, where we say that laser fever killed two doctors, 18 in Kano, 18 others in Kano and Ondo states. If you read up laser fever, you will understand that laser fever is not something that we should be dealing with now in Nigeria. No, not. We shouldn't be dealing with that kind of illness. You see, two medical doctors and a pregnant woman at the Aminu Kano hospital killed by laser fever. Now, the doctors, a consultant, anesthesia, and house officer were reported dead days after operating a pregnant woman who was suspected to be a primary carrier of the disease at Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital in Kano. Now, this reminds you of when we had that Ebola case and the doctor died. Okay? Now, a senior medical doctor at the hospital told the Guardian that the case was under investigation, blah blah blah, chairman of Nigerian Medical Association, and all of these things. You just read down, and you will get all of the story. Meanwhile, they said Ondo State epidemiologist Dr. Stephen Fagbemi confirmed the outbreak of the disease at a meeting with Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu in Akure of Ondo State. Now, this is when we reported to you guys about the outbreak of laser fever, but it didn't stop there. Now, there's more news on that laser fever, as I'm going to show you shortly. And this is what we're having to deal with in Nigeria in 2020. We are still having to deal with cholera. We're still having to deal with typhoid. It's like chicken pox, measles, diseases that it has become extinct in other climates. We're still dealing with them in Nigeria. Can you imagine? And you want me to report something positive? It's difficult now. It's difficult because this is the reality of our time. I won't sugarcoat it. I won't try to make it look like these things are not happening, because these are the things that are happening. These are true cases of what is happening in Nigeria. Now, in Delta State, this is the recent news. Panic in Delta as laser fever kills woman, 2 others quarantined. This one is not happening in Kano State. When we say Kano State, people say, those northern people, they are dirty. That's the only place it can happen. But look very well and see that this one is not happening in northern Nigeria. This is happening in Asaba. The residents of Asaba, capital of Delta State, are currently living in fear following an outbreak of laser fever, which has killed a woman and left 2 others quarantined. At a briefing with journalists on Wednesday in Asaba, Commissioner for Health in the state, Modi Ononye, confirmed the development, urging residents not to panic. Can you imagine this? Finally, it says that though the disease is contagious, but if residents keep a high personal hygiene, keep their environments clean, and cut grasses close to homes, address places where places where rodents hide and breed, and stop exposing food and drinks to rats, the disease will not be able to spread. And someone will say, come, Oga Chidi, why are you connecting this one to Why are you connecting this to government again? This one, is this government's problem? Well, let me tell you something. Things like this happen when the poverty level of a people is really very, very, very low. It happens when people are living like destitutes. Okay? When people, have you noticed in some areas where people's level of income is higher and where they are a little bit comfortable, it's not that rats don't exist in those places, but you see rats in the garbage bins, because their houses are secured, the windows are shut, and all of these things happen there. But in other places where people do, it's just the camera we're using now, it switches off after a while and we can't fix that problem. But sorry about that. So, like I was saying, all these diseases that you hear about, they happen where the poverty level of people have become so low. The society has, we've degenerated so much in our society where we live like animals now. Our quality of life is so low. Not just that our quality of life is so low, we sorry, poverty level, when poverty level is very high but our quality of life then is so low. Sorry about that. So what when this has happened, you see people behaving like animals. You see people getting involved more in crime, and people will say, Chidi, poverty is not an excuse for crime. But check the indices, check the data, and you see it's not about how you feel, it's about the reality of what is happening. I'm telling you, that's the reality of what is happening. When people are poor, they behave in a certain way and there's nothing you can do about it. They are poor, that's why they're behaving the way they're behaving. Crime goes up, and it's much easier to radicalize people, and that's why you see things like Boko Haram increasing. People like things like ISWAP, they continue to increase because people, there's nothing else for them to do, so that's why they join these things. And when all this is happening, cases of insecurity continue to increase everywhere you look. You find one case of kidnap or the other. You find one case of kidnap or the other. Somebody is kidnapped, and now it has touched everybody. I'm telling you, everybody is now feeling it. And the one that pains most, and you will agree with me, is when there are incidences of young people who shouldn't even be involved in this kind of things. Like the case, look at this case here. Look at this guy, Lalong Mons Unimate student. This Unimate student was killed by Boko Haram. Very, very, very painful. And you can read about this on our website, www.worshipmedia.ca. The governor Lalong was condemning the killing of 22-year-old Plateau State biology student of University of Maiduguri by Islamic State of West Africa, ISWAP. But all these people, they're just changing their names. Well, it's the same thing. ISWAP came as a result of the breaking up of Boko Haram, so it is still the same thing, but it is so painful. This young guy, 22-year-old biology student of University of Maiduguri, they captured this guy and they talked back and forth. We were praying that this guy will be released, but the next thing, they killed him. That is so painful. There's a video out there, but it's not the kind of thing that we can share with you. But these are all the results of poverty and a society that is morally bankrupt. We don't value life anymore. That's what I was talking about yesterday. You hear about kidnaps, they kidnap people, they cut them up. These are the things we used to read happening in other places. It was so far away from us. They were taboos. You don't hear about them. But now in Nigeria, you hear that they cut up people and put them in bags. Do you hear about the rich Igbo man Odunukwe? And the guys who were involved. In fact, I'm even contradicting myself. I don't even know whether it is poverty again. I don't know what is causing this. It's just that generally, the society it has come to a point where we need to shut down, just shut, like rebooting a computer, because this evil has permeated the society so much. The people who were involved in that kidnap of and killing of that Ignatius Odunukwe, that businessman in he lives in Lagos, but he was trying to sell his house in Abuja or so. The people who were involved, one of them I heard is even a medical doctor. Can you imagine that? So this is not even poverty. Is it maybe his desire for riches or the corruption? I don't even know. But whoever is at the head of us all is not doing a good job. While on his watch, Nigeria has become the worst country in terms of all kinds of records, human rights record, every kind of record available. Nigeria has been winning prizes from the back when it comes to those kind of things. And talking about, that's why the topic I'm saying that Boko Haram or ISWAP or whatever you call them, they are all the same thing. They are all the same thing. A couple of days ago on Worship Media, honestly, I'll really encourage you guys to go to our website. Most of these stories that I bring to you guys, I bring to you guys from our website, www.worshipmedia.ca. That's, if you go there, there's so many things you can even check out our YouTube videos directly from our website, so you don't even have to miss anything, because every new video that we publish goes directly to our website. That's from where I'm getting you this story of the Emir of Potiskum. That was some time ago. We brought you this message of the Emir of Potiskum trekking in the bush for hours, and he was recounting how they encountered bandits that killed 6 people and in an attack against his convoy. This was the story we brought you a couple of days ago. But what I later came to understand is that this was not even the main story. The main story will surprise you. This was the emir actually ran into an incident involving some buses that were traveling from Sokoto, carrying a lot of people, Easterners. They were stopped, 3 buses, and the attackers, in fact, the update is that right now they are demanding 100 million naira. 100 million naira from the people who were in those buses. I'm going to share that story with you now. So it was that attack that this emir ran into. Do you understand? It was that attack that this emir ran into. Buko Haram. I'm just going to show you that now. Because this guy ran into that ambush when it was happening. It wasn't the one that they were targeting. Well, I can't get the story now, but what the story was is that there's this bus that loaded. You know how Easterners always, their business people say they're always transversing the country, and these guys, three buses loaded from Sokoto, and they were traveling down to the east. Some people say they were going to Onisha. Some people say they were going back down to Aba. Some people say Lagos. I can't confirm where exactly they were headed, but they stopped these three buses. They shot at them. They killed some people, and then they arrested, or they now kidnapped plenty of people in that bus. They said they actually asked them, if you're a Christian, move to one side. If you're not a Christian, move to the other side. If you're Igbo, move to this side. If you're not Igbo, move to the other side. And at the end of the day, according to the story, they now matched those who were Christians and those who were, let me use the word, Easterners, and they matched them into the bush. And they have contacted the operator of that bus service to demand 400 million naira from him. Anyway, sorry guys, I can't find the story now, but that is what happened. So right now, they've not released them, and the story is making waves. I guess I'll post in our community updates all the information that I have about that story. All right, and then finally, talking about all of these people, a friend of mine in Enugu, who were both candidates of during the last election. His name is Kene Uzodimma. He owns a farmland in it, and this is somebody that I respect so much. If I wasn't going to vote for myself during that governorship election, this is one man that I would have voted for to be the governor of Enugu State. I'm telling you this. Our ideologies about how to lead our people were so in sync. I'm telling you, we're just like brothers. We agreed on most things. We collaborated. You couldn't even tell that we were from two different political parties. Honestly speaking, if any of us had won that governorship election, we would have so cooperated with each other that people would be very, very surprised. But the amazing thing is, this guy preached so much about the insecurity in Enugu State. He criticized the government, just like I did, about their inability to secure Enugu State and to curtail the activities of Fulani Heardsmen. But nobody listened to him, because you guys remember there were always attacks on the people of Enugu State. Remember the attack on the people of Babinimbo, the attack on the people at Ogu, the attack of people around the Suka axis, so Adani, so many places. Now his farm in Enugu State was ravaged by the same people that he was complaining about. They went into his farm and they just destroyed crops, and so many. You can imagine when somebody has planted their farm and they are looking forward to a huge harvest, and these Fulani headsmen just go in there and they destroy everything. It is very, very painful. I was hoping that I'll be able to talk to him while we are live, but I'm not able to do that. But I know that that's a huge loss for a young man who has just come out of an election, having spent so much money, and to be faced with this kind of thing. It is very, very, very annoying, and I feel for him. He's a very good friend of mine. I sympathize with him because I know that he. Let me show you his picture. This is the kind of people that we are hope. These are the future of Nigeria. this is the kind of people they should be allowed to handle the affairs of Nigeria. But the reverse is the case. So let me show you Ekene Ozodimma, and then I'll read the story for you, because Ekene is one man that I really, really, really respect, and if I had my way, he should be allowed a chance in the leadership of Nigeria. Somewhere, just give him something to handle. These are the people that this country should be in their hands. Imagine the likes of Omoyele Shore, at the helm of affairs, and you have people like me in the states, and people like Kenel Zodima, doing things. Nigeria will be a very sweet place, honestly. Imagine people like this. Look at this young man. Look at Kenel Zodima. A very young man, full of ideas. This person you're looking at now, he has a farm employing over 100 youths in Enugu State. And Fulani headsmen will come into his farm and destroy everything that he has in his farm. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. Just check out the story. It's over 17 million worth of rice farmland has been destroyed by grazing activities of cattle in Oji Ago Axis in Buko community in Kano East local government area of Enugu State. This is even my area. Now, briefing newsmen on the massive destruction of the rich farmland in Enugu on Wednesday, Mr. Ekene Ozodimma, the manager of Excellent Integrated Farms Limited, said the heads of cattle had eaten up over 8 hectares of farmland that the company cultivated. Imagine. And just goes down to say, initially we tried our best to ward them off, especially during the rainy season, and the swampy nature of the rice farm also kept the headsmen and their heads away. Imagine. However, when we started harvesting, this is when the rice had grown. They've nurtured the rice and everything. And when it was time for them to harvest the rice, when we started harvesting and the dry season rolled in early December, we were constantly chasing them away until December 15, when they started coming into the rice farm during the late evenings and night hours. So these Fulani headsmen it's not mistake. Some people used to say, the cows went in there by mistake. No, they herd these cows into people's farmlands with the singular purpose of destroying the farm. That's what these people do. Ekene Ozodimma said that he had written twice to the state governor, police commissioner, other security agencies, and farmers headers peace committee for about a month now, but there was no response and no phone call from these quarters. Imagine, this is what we're dealing with in Enugu. Let me know if I can even just bump on him and we'll get some comments from him, because he's a very busy man. But let me play a fast one on him. It's for his own advantage, so I don't think he would mind. I had called him earlier, but I didn't get him. Let me try now. Maybe I'll be able to get him. I'm hoping that he picks my call. Hello, Your Excellency. Guess what? I'm calling you on a live broadcast. I'm actually live on my show, and I was talking about your farm. Yeah, I was talking about your farm that cows went and destroyed in Enugu. And I just told our viewers that I was going to try a fast one and see if I can get you online. So I'm lucky that you picked the phone.
Wow. Thank you so much.
So what is going on? What's going on with what? Tell me what happened, please.
My brother, the impunity at which the others now greatly in our farm is different at times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been like a norm. You know, it's almost like a culture now that we try to wake up, we try to control them, we try to, you know, keep up to and kind of be able to manage them
Mm-hmm.
almost every other year. And just to maintain peace
Mm-hmm.
and tranquility, especially I don't live in the community and I'm trying to locate it, and we don't know if we decide to, you know, either go the other way and, you know, attack the community and villagers there. So we try to manage them systematically
Yeah.
and using everything possible. You know, but this year, I mean last year, it took a different turn around the month of December.
Yeah.
It all happened around towards the end of October. To 3% of rice, so we apportioned the harvest in batches.
Mm-hmm.
And around October, we split the 6 and that makes it difficult for us to separate and maybe a little bit. The only thing is we harvest and we stock there and we stack gradually.
Mm-hmm.
So about early December, they began to, you know, come into the farm and try to manage them.
Mm-hmm.
Just to report to the police and to see we try to manage these guys, try and help them talk to them, let them hold, let's finish, you know, the harvesting of our rights.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, we usually looking to land around the after the end of the 20th of December, about 6th of December or so,
Yeah.
we came into part of the farm, and just a very little, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Now we arrested somebody, one of them, using the local vigilante people,
Yeah.
took them to the police, handed over to the police, and asked the police, please, help us talk to this place. We have to even go to their camps to talk to them. Now, they kept coming. But on the 15th of December, that day I wasn't in the camp, but my workers, the senior workers who are cutting and gathering from me, called me and said, these men, as of today, that they are almost like fighting with them. They are just a journey away from because they are asking, if people are coming to the farm to grieve, but if we keep that they may come at night to grieve here.
Yeah.
So that they know made me to leave what I was doing. I called up one of my boys who are around. We went there that evening, past 6 to 7 p.m. We have gone to report to the local vigilante again to let them know. And those local vigilante, about 2 or 3 of them joined us. We went to the farm that late evening. Lo and behold, these men were in 3 different groups, grazing 3 different pieces of our land, eating the rice that was not cut and something that was already harvested and packed. We were there up until past 9 p.m. trying to chase them away from the farm. I found out that evening because when I came back, I wondered what took me to the farm that late. You know, just my touch.
Let me ask you a question. I was talking to a leader of the Igbo community, you know, national leader of the Igbo community. I was having a conversation with him, and he was telling me that, Chidi, look, we're talking about this Amotekun and what we're doing in the East. And he told me, you know, that the Eastern governors started their own before Amotekun, that during December, that everything was so peaceful, that they started the forest guards, and the forest guards are all over the place and they are working. So I'm surprised when you're talking about this incident and it happened, you know, during the December period. So are the forest guards that were supposed to be working in Enugu State, are they not working?
Okay, usually speaking, the southeastern states, very precisely where I belong, they does everything. Everything to do is politics. Everything to do is I mean, they think they create an impression that things are well when things are not well. You see, the South Eastern governors have begun the security issue, but they never gave it home until they began to experience constant attacks, kidnapping, banditry, and then the governor has said taking up forest guards. However, in frankly speaking, the forest guards, they are just a political setup, just to create an impression. They're not doing anything. The forest guards are showing along the street. Okay, come to think of it, forest guards, what are you doing to them to help them work? What training do they have to make them work in the forest? What equipment? Do they have machetes? Do they have guns? Are they licensed to have even catapults? How many are there in number? So that thing is just a political setup used to just create an impression. They cannot solve or cannot solve the problem. And that is the truth. So that is a lie. But the point I want us to see is that the security agencies, I did also say to bring this matter to the agencies. I wrote to the Commissioner of Police, I wrote to the Commander of Civil Defense, I wrote to the DPA of Abba Police Station. I had to go extra mile to write a letter to the committee set by the governor, the Committee and Security Committee. This committee is very selected from both the Fulani people and from the indigenous people. This committee is headed by an EJA traditional ruler, Igbo Imam Ubu of the Baba. I wrote them a letter for the past 2 weeks, no call, no text. Nobody even just say, if they talk about this what happened, we are sorry, we are working on this, nothing. Okay, and at Monday, I had to write the Canadian people. Because I don't want to put it in life. The life of our people is in danger. I can send you some videos that were recorded on the day we want to disturb that place to the civil defense. Some of these local women are lamenting, crying that these men are chasing us in our camp with their knives, sometimes with their flute and cutlass. The life of the people around there is in danger, and the government is doing that here. And I was speaking on radio 2 days ago. I told them we are hammering this so that what happened in Limbo will not happen again in anything. They should be aware that there is so much loophole in the security around this area, and these experts are gaining more ground. They are now bold, they speak with boldness. They are now bold to challenge the farmers in their own farm. They want to let you know it is illegal, it is their right to even graze anywhere. It's an issue that I want to show that the leader will take seriously.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kenneth. You know, it's quite. When I heard that news, I was so downcast. I know we had had a lot of discussions. You told me about the farms that you had, even the ones you had in Adani and so many places, and we were planning how we could even use it to help youth, and your harvest was going to be shipped overseas, and I was going to help you find markets for it. To now hear that these crops have been destroyed by Fulani headsmen is just so sad. But this is what we were fighting and we'll continue to fight. Thank you so much, Kenneth. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. So, guys, that was Kenneth Uzodimma, a fellow governorship candidate of Enugu State at the last elections in Nigeria, and you heard him over there lamenting about the security situation in Nigeria. You know, I told you guys, I was even trying to defend the southeastern governors because I had spoken to a community leader who told me that, hey, Chidi, it's not what you read, or the security situation here is so perfect right now, nothing is happening. But you see, that's the problem with Nigeria. It depends on who you're talking to. When you talk to the people who are going through things, the real people, they will tell you the real gist. But when you talk to some other of our people, I don't get it. I don't understand. You begin to imagine. You begin to imagine. Is it the same? Are we talking about the same country? How come you are not seeing? How come when you're telling me about this thing, it is different? But when I hear it from other people, the other people will say a different thing. Okay, when the community leader was telling me there was no problem, everything is okay, the forest guards are working, you see someone who has a farm, who is actually farming in the community, giving you another perspective to the story and telling you that all this whole thing is just a political move. Let's remember, we are even saying that we are watching this Amotekun thing. It's not just to bring out hillocks, bring people in uniform and all that. We need to see them actually working, not just to make a political statement. So when it comes to the people in Enugu State, in Abia State, Imo State, Anambra State, Ebonyi State, we are still looking at you to see that you guys do what you are supposed to do. That's our program for today, and on behalf of all of us here and the Toronto studios of Worship Media, this is Chidi and Erica and everybody in between that just get to you the way we get to you. We're saying that we truly, from the bottom of our heart, love you. Take care of yourselves, and bye bye.